Marvin! Start, Marvin.
To be perfectly honest, I haven't even listened to our podcasts back yet, so I don't know when he starts. If he starts from like the moment.
Marvin, you can leave the start in, Marvin.
Yeah, I wonder if he's leaving in the bit where we go, Marvin!
I don't know. You should, Marvin.
So after the fucking very feminine intro, all they hear is, Marvin!
Marvin, where are you, Marvin?
Marvin!
Marvin!
Oh, God.
So, Marvin, leave the Marvins in, Marvin.
Yeah. We want people to know your name.
Marvin. Marvin, the paranoid android. Life, don't talk to me about life. Here I am, brain the size of the planet, and they've been guarding a car park for 75 million years. Did you watch the video I sent you?
Yes, I did. A very
disappointed. It's fucking hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah, I've replied, lol.
Put down the weapon. Puts it down. Puts down the weapon. Everyone's moving away from it.
I love films like that. What's the film with Tom Cruise in? It really gripped me because I was like, "This
the
probably
film with
isn't."
Tom Cruise.
Let me finish the description. The film with Tom Cruise. It really gripped me because it's about how they use behavior. They correlate the data and of behaviors, and they can predict you're going to commit a crime before you do. It just reminded me of Facebook advertising when I was a prolific Facebook advertiser.
Something report.
Oh yeah, I was going to say Total Recall, but no, definitely not. I'll Google it.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed at myself because I've read the short story. I think it was Philip K. Dick. Minority Report.
Minority Report. There it is.
And the short. I think it's a short story. It's either a short story or a book. It's really good. It's not that faithful to the film, or the film isn't that faithful to the book, which is often the case, which is really disappointing sometimes.
Often, but it's a 2.5 hour fucking film, and they have to cram a lot in. They cut a lot of stuff, don't they?
I mean, I watched it before we moved to Ireland, but with Sarah's dad. He had no fucking clue what was going on.
Do you know what really pisses me off, John? People that say, "Oh yeah, the film's all right. It's not as good as the book, though." I'm like, it's two different fucking mediums, you cunt. I'm not going to sit there and be like, I want to watch a film, but so and so said the book's better, so I'm not going to watch the film now. I'm going to read the fucking book. Fuck off.
It's. I mean, like you say, they're two different media,
and annoys me.
More often than not, in my experience, anyway, the film is butchered to make it more cinematic and to make it more effectful. Whereas the book is a bit more cerebral. But the thing is that, I mean, actually, this is a really good point, and we are digressing here, but it's important digression. Watching TV and videos is passive. You do. I mean, people say, "Oh, my learning style is video." It really probably isn't at all. If you're reading, it's active. You actually have to think about and interpret what you're doing. Two completely different pathways in the brain. So when people say, "Oh, I'm a visual learner, I learn by video," I'm very skeptical. You actually learn by doing. We all learn by doing. But hey, psychology people fuck me off something rotten. You know, there was a woman on fucking LinkedIn yesterday or the day before saying, if you're not cold calling, it means 3 things about you. 1, you don't have any resilience. 2, you don't have any tenacity. And the third one was something about being timid.
Really?
And I thought something like that. And I thought, what a load of fucking bollocks. I don't cold call because 1, it's inefficient. 2, it doesn't really suit our business model. You know, if you're a news agent selling newspapers, why would you want a cold call? So newspapers, yeah. And the third thing is, I don't cold call because my autistic nature would make it extremely uncomfortable, which is not a fucking mindset issue at all. It's a neurological issue. So people like that and their dumb fucking pop psychology, they need taking out, shooting, right? Burying in a shallow grave, digging up a week later, shooting a second time to make sure they're feeding to the fucking dogs.
It is funny how yesterday we were speaking to our foundations lot, and I asked them, what's something you like about the podcast and something you don't? And they all said, it's very funny, it's very entertaining. You know, there's good stuff in there. They love the 1 minute hate. I know you do it, but I'm taking all the fucking credit for that. But the one thing they said they didn't like is the tangents. And when I was hearing, I was like, that's never going to change. If anything, it's only going to get worse over time.
So you see this guy. I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see what I'm doing, right? If you can't, you have to imagine it. I'm waving, I'm circling my finger in front of my face, completely in passive expression, and I'm saying, this is the face of fucking concern, you know? They don't like it. They can go fucking to listen to some other cunts fucking podcast. In fact, they can fuck off out of Foundations if they like. Cheeky bastards. Anyway, so what are we talking about today? Oh, yeah.
On the theme of clients.
On the theme of clients.
On the theme of clients. Say, you see what I did there? I tried to.
I did. I saw what you did there.
You was a little slow on that one, though. Very unlike you. Thought you would have picked it up. Anyway,
slow.
It's another tangent. It's another tangent, please. The theme of today.
Slow then.
Oh, stop. I shall stop. Is contrary to popular belief, clients don't always want a low price, and in fact, it's not often the most. It's not top of their priority list.
No,
but when we say that, they go, "Well, what do people want?" So, John,
what do people want more than a low price? Well, here's the thing: if you ask people, this is why often focus groups, you know, for even formal focus groups, and certainly the informal ones you get on places like LinkedIn, where you say, "Hey, I've got this idea. What would you pay for a service like this?" Is the most dim-witted fucking thing you can do, because you're asking people to pay money for something which doesn't even exist, and they'll just make something up. I mean, they just want to. Sometimes they want to be helpful. Sometimes they think this is an ego thing. I need to have an opinion here. But what they're not doing is getting into the nub of sales, which is what's the pain?
Yeah.
You know? If it hurts, it doesn't matter what they'll pay. I mean, I think I said this before. It might have been on the Q&A, but it might have been on a podcast. I don't know. We talk a lot about these things. But if someone had said to me back in, say, September 2017 or 2018, when it was, 17, how much would you pay to have plastic lenses put in your eyes? I'd say nothing. I'm not interested. Why would I bother? Fast forward 2 months when they said, by the way, we can't give you laser surgery because your eyes ain't quite right for it, but you've got cataracts and you're going to go blind in so many years. All of a sudden, I've got immense, not physical, but, you know, there's a huge pressure for me to get something done with my eyes. And the only real alternative to going blind is to have plastic things stuck in your eyes. So all of a sudden, I would have paid a lot of money, and I did pay a lot of money. And as we said the day, I would have paid more. Have the opportunity. I did. I offered to pay more, and they said no. We don't do that. More for you. So to ask people in a fucking informal or formal focus group, what would you pay for this service? It is a very superficial, almost facile question, because you're not thinking about, well, what's their pain here? You're just not.
No.
Another more facetious one here is, you know, what would people be prepared to pay for a vasectomy? Well, again, stupid question. If you're in your 20s and you don't have children yet, you're probably not interested. Me, fucking hell, it was the best 130 quid I ever spent some 18 years ago. You know, it's just a stupid question. It's almost without context. So really, if you want to find out what people will pay for something, you have to put them through a sales process and keep putting the price up until you start getting some serious resistance. That's the only way. Mm-hmm. Because what people want more than a low price, there's a few things, but there's 7 which spring to mind pretty much immediately off the top of this bald head of mine. The first is, to touch on what we've just said, is that they want a cessation of pain. They've got a problem. No one buys anything except to solve a problem. Now, what the problem is very much context dependent. For me, say my golf handicap is utterly irrelevant. So's an emergency dentist right now. But, you know, when I cracked my tooth a few years ago, I really wanted an emergency dentist very quickly because my tooth hurt. So they want a cessation of pain. They want a solution to problems. That's much more important than price. Second thing is they actually want knowledge and experience. We've said before, again, I'm not sure if I've said it on the podcast or not, but people have got this frustration where they assume if you understand their problem and what the pain they're going through, if you understand it, if you can relate to it, they automatically assume you know how to solve it. It's not always true. Like I said, my doctor friend, he would often speak to people who had terminal cancer, and they'd be relieved, like, oh, fucking hell, at last we know what's wrong with me. what do we do about it? And nothing, you just die, you know. You can't solve their problem, but there's a sense of relief when they know someone understands anything. So we understand our guys paying and they can't get the right clients, they can't sell to them at the right fees. And when they do get work, it's really difficult to keep it flowing because they're reliant on cold calls, on accidental calls coming in, word of mouth. It's all ad hoc. We know their pain. When we talk to them about their pain, they think, yeah, you understand their pain. They assume we can fix it. And of course we can. That's the thing. We do know how to fix it. But that would be true. They would believe that whether or not it was actually true we could. So they want cessation of pain and they want knowledge of it and experience. Third thing they want, more than a low price, is timely delivery. You know, if you've got a large, say, building project going on and you need to have, say, the electrics in before you can plaster the walls and finish the decorating, and everything's on this critical path, you want timely delivery. It's no good having an electrician who'll come in at half the price if you can't get it done until next year and hold every other cunt upon the fucking site. It just doesn't make any sense.
Let alone the lost revenues from the
delays. It's much more important than price. And not all of these things will apply to everyone all at the same time. But they're all examples of things in a hat you can pull out and say, well, this is more important. This is more important.
Look at Amazon Prime. You know, it's almost like fucking paying your tax, isn't it? Now your Amazon Prime subscription, so you can get it next day.
I mean, I pay Amazon Prime. It costs me what, £7-8 a month. And not only do I get quicker delivery, it's as often as not, it's free, even to Ireland.
Yeah,
it probably saves me 30-40 quid a month,
and it's convenient.
But there are some months I don't use it at all. So I mean, that's another thing. That, you know, time delivery, and they want convenience. They also want accurate delivery. They want what they pay for. They don't want to buy a blue stainless steel widget and get a rubber fucking mallet through the post. You know, they just don't. And of course, efficiency and competence costs money. It just does. I mean, is there anything more frustrating than someone who, say you buy a washing machine online? Not only is it delivered late, so it's not timely, but it's also delivered with bits missing. You know, how frustrating is it? Nowadays, it doesn't happen so much because I think the law has changed. But when I was a kid, you'd get presents and things for Christmas, and there'd be no batteries in them, and you couldn't use it.
That was the worst. That still happened when I was young.
Yeah, so I mean, that's not strictly about accurate delivery. That's just how it was then. But it's, you know, you order something, you put this package of things together in your shopping basket, and that's what you fucking expect to get. Well, that's much more important than price.
Here's an example. Before we went back into lockdown, so it's pretty pointless now, I ordered some new football shoes because I just joined the team. They played on AstroTurf, and I didn't have any appropriate football shoes. So I went on ProDirectSoccer.com, where I've always got my football gear and whatnot. And I thought, I'll try some new shoes from a brand I don't usually buy from. So I bought these really cool Puma Kings, if anyone's interested in football. They were like a limited edition release. And looking at the sizing, it said runs true to size. Oh, so I ordered my usual size that all my other football shoes are and fit just fine. And they came. And they're probably about 2 sizes too small. So unless my feet have grown, and I did have to check this and tried on my other football shoes, but they were about two sizes too small. I'm never going to buy Puma shoes ever again.
How frustrating is it? Because, you know, you'd have paid more just to forego this fucking frustrating experience of not having your problem solved. Oh, even if you get your money back, it's not the point, is it?
It's the time wasted. It's, you know, the time that I spent choosing the. Yeah, and now I've got to tell you, they're still actually, because they arrived before Christmas, they're still in my wardrobe because I just can't be bothered to go to the post.
Yeah, I'm the same. There's more than once I've bought stuff and it's come and it's not right, and I just cannot be bothered to send it back.
I say this to Tamsin often because she gets annoyed. Well, why haven't you sent it back yet? The hour it's going to take me to send this back. If I spend that hour on the business, I'm going to make fucking 4 times the money I spent on it.
And I must admit, to me, it runs against the grain to send things back. It just does. It's not about being embarrassed or finding it awkward. I just can't be bothered. But what I do is I just don't give those people my business again.
Yeah. So Puma, I highly doubt you're listening. But
interestingly enough, I've got some Puma trainers which were the second best trainers I've ever had. They're worn out now, but I still wear them sometimes because they're just so comfy.
It's fucking weird, especially when it comes to football shoes. It's the most frustrating thing.
Perhaps your feet are a bit weird.
They're very wide. They're very wide. Well, they're really slender. They are weird. My toes are like hooks. They're really slender through the midfoot, but then all of a sudden, it's like a black lady's bottom. They just go boom, massive.
So not content with being a paedophile, we're now a racist too.
Not cultural appropriation. That's someone else.
That's something completely. You're a moron, aren't you? Anyway,
stereotyping. I'm stereotyping.
Yes, that's the word. So we got cessation of pain, knowledge and experience, timely delivery, accurate delivery. Then we've got reliable delivery. Now we've ordered what we've ordered. We want it to arrive in time, as described, and we want it to arrive, or we want the job done. What we don't want is, say, like Holly was saying this morning, the guys came to fix the roof. They replaced the whole roof and it was cheap. And 6 months later, it's pissing water again. You know, you want it reliably done, whether it's delivery as in literally delivered into your house, or you want the job done properly. You don't want to keep chasing people to have it done, have it fixed, have it repaired. It's great when they do that. And I would the first to acknowledge sometimes things don't always work out the way they're supposed to do. Then it's how you deal with it. But you really want, it's much more important to have things done so you ain't got to worry about it. I mean, one of the every copywriter's got kind of stock phrases and approaches they like to take. And my approach has always been in my copy to depend, it doesn't matter what words I use particularly, but it's always been to say, I'm going to do this work for you so you don't have to, and you can focus on running your business and I'll take care of the rest. Well, that's what they want me to do. There's no point in me saying that, selling myself at very high prices on it, and then not getting it done. It's just simple. We expect people. You and I, we don't mind paying our suppliers premium rates, but we do it and get done what they say they're going to get done. If they don't, we understand. We'll get pissed off about it because we paid you premium rate. We don't quibble about price, but we want the thing doing properly.
Yeah.
And of course, two of the things they want. I'll save the best till last. They want a willing ear. They want people who are prepared to listen, because people like being listened to and validated and acknowledged. Yeah. And we all like that, and especially if there's a problem.
Yeah.
Now, they want to be able to sit down and talk to someone and know, because the difference between transactional and transformational selling is, with transactional selling, you've got some, say, internet marketing guru. He's got this fucking product, and he'll say, see, this will solve all your problems. What's your problem? Yeah, this will solve it. This will help you sell anything, right? That's taking people from the known, this is what you've got, to the unknown, meaning, let's see what we can do with it. We can just sell anything you like. Whereas we do it transformationally, meaning we will ask and find out where people are first. We need to know, what is your problem? Can we actually solve it? We transform things. We're not listening to selling a widget for the sake of it. We've got something we sell. We want to know, is it actually right for you? It's not. And there are some people. Actually, yesterday I was speaking to over LinkedIn, and I sent him to Shane Malak's online craft work course or something, because he just wanted to learn how to sell online product he's got. And I said, foundations will be an overkill for you. It's a much cheaper and more efficient and more directed and probably better way of doing it. So I go to this guy, and I got nothing for that, but it was the right thing to do. Well, that's transformational selling, not transactional. And of course, the very last thing I mentioned, never mind all the rest that we could go into, talk about this all day, is even though they might not want this or realize they want it, what they need is more than one supplier. Because one is the most dangerous number in business.
It sure is.
But yeah, so it's no good going to someone who's cheap if they're a sole supplier. That's the only thing. People will pay a premium to have more than one person able to solve the problem. That's why it's not good to go for a very cheap bespoke solution to almost anything, because then you're tied into these people as well. There's lots of fucking reasons for it. But yeah, they want more than one supplier. They need more than one supplier. Put it that way. All those things are much more important than a low price.
However, John, I can already imagine there's some cries from people saying, well, my clients lie to me and they tell me they want a low price.
Yeah, well, this is true. Clients, funny enough, clients do lie. I mean, everyone's very quick to point out how salespeople lie and they're dishonest and disingenuous. But it seems that, and everyone I think will agree, that's wrong. Salesmen shouldn't do it. But what seems to be okay is to lie to salespeople. They don't seem to think there's anything wrong in lying to a salesman so you can get a discount, which is fucking bizarre when you think about it. I won't bring myself to do it. I mean, I won't lower myself to that level. But people don't. And three of the main lies. The first is I can get the same thing cheaper. Your competitor down the road said they'll do it cheaper. Well, that's bullshit. Or even if it's true, there's a reason they can't get it right now. Because if they could get it cheaper down the road, and the price was important to them, they'd be down the road getting it cheaper. You see, when someone objects to your price, they're not saying they don't want what you're selling. They're saying you've not justified the price to me, or it's more than I want to pay, but at the moment I'm fucked. I've got to pay. You know, the guy down the road, he might be cheaper, but not have any in stock. And it's easy to it's easy to offer to sell something cheap if you haven't got any of it. You know, it's really easy, that is. If I had it, I'd sell it to you really cheap, but I can't. Maybe the guy down the road doesn't want to sell it to you because, I don't know, perhaps he's been shagging his wife or something. You know? And he just doesn't want to sell it to you. Because, you know, there are people we won't sell to, remember? That guy who disrespected you, called you the apprentice, and I just said, oh, fuck you, we don't want to do business with you because you're rude. No amount of money would get him into our fucking knickers.
No,
just wouldn't. Or maybe he will sell to you. Maybe he's got the stock, but maybe he's not allowed to. Maybe his boss, it's a good example for you. There's stuff we can't buy here in Ireland because they're not allowed to export it from the UK because of some kind of certain brands. They've got areas where they're allowed to sell in, districts or whatever they like to call it, areas. So there's certain things we're not allowed. They're not allowed to export to us. Nothing to do with Brexit. It's way before Brexit. So what we do is we've got a thing called Address Pal, which is owned by Anpost, which is the Irish post office, but it allows you to have a UK address, so we can get it sent to a UK address and they forward it on to us. It costs about four quid. It's often cheaper to do that, to use that service, than it is to get Amazon to send it straight to us. Anyway, that's bizarre. But it was before. That has gone up since Brexit. So, maybe they don't want to sell it to you, maybe they can't sell it to you, they haven't got it, maybe they're not allowed to. But the point is, no matter what the specific reason, if they could get it cheaper down the road, and it was important to them to get it cheaper down the road, they would be down the road getting it cheaper. The fact they're still talking to you means there's something wrong somewhere and they're lying to you or mistaken. That's the first thing. Second thing is they say, all I want is a low price. This is not true. This is almost never true. So you say to someone, okay, you want a low price, but you don't care if it breaks down next week. Well, no, of course not. Of course, I want it to break down. Oh, so it's not just a low price. You want it to be reliable too. So you want quality. Yeah. So you want it to be high quality and low price, and I can just chuck it out on the doorstep and you can drag this 3-ton machine home on your own. Well, no, don't be stupid. I want you to deliver it. Oh, so you want service as well. People want three things. They want a low price, they want high quality products and services, and they want good service from the people. No one can deliver all three. So often it's a question of, okay, which one of the three do you not want? High quality, low price, or good service? Which one of those are you prepared to do without? And most people will say, even if it's only by their actions, they will say, I don't want a low price. I'm prepared to pay a premium or prepared to forego the low price to get the first two. And then there's the quick, fast and cheap. There's high quality, fast and cheap. Which two? Pick two. You can have two, but not three. There's loads of ways of looking at it, but you can have, you can't have all things. And often the price is the first one to go if you justify it by showing your quality, your service, and your speed and all the rest of it.
And if your market is genuinely meaning it when they say what they want is a low price, you're in the wrong game and you're serving the wrong market, and you should run a fucking mile, because the average person does not want a low price. You have somehow ended up dealing with the bottom 1% of society. You are in the cesspits.
Yeah, you just need to change him yourself too. I mean, like I say, my dad was the tightest person on this or any other planet. He would buy on price. But then again, even dad would always buy on price. You know, there are times dad paid over the odds for something he really, really wanted. People do. I don't care what I pay for a push buy, you know, a cycle. Just don't. Or the computer I'm talking on now. I dread to think how much this Mac cost me 5 or 6 years ago. I just didn't care. All the way down the right-hand side, tick, 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 tick. I want fucking everything I want delivered, and then I want them to masturbate me afterwards. You know, you do tick that option too, the masturbate option.
Of course,
of course,
of course.
And the third thing people will lie about is they'll say it's too expensive. No, it's not too expensive at all. It's just that you can't afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, when people say it's so expensive, what they're not saying it's not worth the money. They're not saying I don't want it. They're not saying it's shit. They're saying I actually want it, but I don't have the money for it. It's too expensive. Well, that's their problem, not yours.
Yeah. And people that say it's too expensive, they're egotistical, fucking self-entitled pricks. Well, imagine not being able to afford a house and saying, "Oh, it's too expensive." It's not too expensive. Just ain't got the money.
You just ain't got the money. Yeah. I mean, it may be. And again, this is a judgment call. It may be that if you've got something sitting in the stock room somewhere, and someone just walks in and says, "Look, I know it's 500 quid. I've only got 450." It's probably reasonable to say, "Okay, I'll have it for 450 because it's not cost you anything."
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's just that's a spur of the moment thing. What you need to be very wary of is compromising yourself. So it's like, come and fit a bathroom. You don't want people eating into your profits then because you're having to make effort and they are bad clients. Someone walking in with a handful of cash, it's a bit different. You know, use your intelligence here, obviously. But for the most part, when people say it's too expensive, what they have to mean is I don't have the money.
So here's an example of pricing recently. You got the memory triggered by talking about a warehouse. Recently, do you know what Pokemon is, John?
Unfortunately, yes.
So it's I think it's the highest grossing, I don't know what the word is, brand isn't the right word, but game is probably, I think it's the highest grossing game, if you can call it that, ever. Anyway, its popularity is massive. Recently, an original box of Pokemon cards, I think it contained 30 packs. It went for £500,000.
Jeez.
Of Pokemon cards. I recently found mine, and I've got a few cards that are worth, a few hundred quid. It's like, what? This is crazy. And these are things that are just found in the back of a warehouse. But there are people saying, "Oh, Pokemon's now too expensive." Well, no, you just can't afford it.
I've got a bunch of vinyl records in the house, and they're probably worth several £100, some of them. I've got one which is from Ian Duran the Blockhead's first edition of New Boots and Panties. It's in mint condition. It's probably worth a fair bit of money. I don't want to sell it, but
I've got a Lionel Messi Match Attacks card. That's the 100 football. You've never heard of Lionel Messi?
No.
Lionel Messi, I've got a Match Attacks card, like 100 club. That I don't want to sell because that's going to go up in value quite a bit. It's already worth like 60 quid and it's only like 2 years old. It's insane.
So really, I mean, people will pay any amount of money. There's always someone out there. I mean,
£500,000 quid for Pokemon cards.
Just go on to Google and say Google most expensive, and then put any noun you like, most expensive shoes, hats, stereo leads. You know, people will pay 25k for stereo leads. Please don't tell me you can tell the difference in your ears because you can't. Yeah, you need special equipment, but people will pay it, and clearly that's not too expensive for them. It's all about value, perception of value, and that's purely subjective, always will be. And what I'll say to anyone listening to this is, because sometimes business owners will do this, they will have a product or a service, and they will balk at charging more money for it because they think it's not worth it. Well, you don't have the right or the ability to say to someone else, here's a thing, this is only worth this much to you. You can say what it's worth to you. You can say, I'm not doing this work for less than this amount of money, but you cannot say to someone else, well, this work is only worth £50 to you, £1,000 to you. You don't have the right to say that. How could the guy who did my eyes say, How can he can tell me what he's prepared to do it for? You know, €5,000 plus €3,000 for the hospital. Okay, 8K. He can tell me that, no bother. He can't put a price on it from my point. I'd have paid 5-10 times what I paid for them because of the result I got. I look out the window now, better than 20/20 vision, both eyes near and far. That the sky is blue. It's the hues of pinks and purples as the sun sinks. I can identify a crow from a fucking magpie, from a buzzard, right across the other side of the valley. Even with my glasses before, I could barely see the other side of the fucking valley. You know what valley? So he cannot possibly put a value on what it means to me to have my eyes this good. He can only tell me what he's prepared to sell it for. That's the same for all of us. What's a high quality bathroom worth? What's high quality rewire worth? What's a high quality driveway worth? What's a high quality anything worth? Look at fucking dominatrixes. Dominatrixes will charge 250 quid an hour to piss on blokes and spank them with fucking paddlers and whips and chains. Well, how much would you pay for that? I mean, I'd pay a lot more than that. But the point is, you know, you can't judge the value to someone else as the supplier. You can only judge the value of it to you and what you're prepared to take in return for that value. That's it. Or what value you are prepared to take in return for the product or the service. Yeah, that's it.
Business owners, well, I don't want to generalize here, but many business owners react very strangely when they get challenged on the price. Some immediately, you know, have almost a company-wide policy that you immediately give a 10% discount. Yeah. Some get really angry, really defensive. Some are, you know, indifferent, but very few embrace it.
The knee-jerk reaction is to lower the price. I mean, my mate, all he did was he emailed all of his suppliers, accountants, electrical people. He's got quite a big business, and all he said was, "We are just going through our cost base and looking at our costs." That's all he said. And his accountant came back by return. Oh, we're not 20% off the fee. He wasn't asking for a discount. People will do that. Is there something you can do about the price? My reaction was always, and always would be now, yeah, we can put it up if you like. My reaction to the best price, can we give us your best price, has been for years. Well, my best price is actually a lot more than it is right now. So I'm not sure you actually want that. And then if people ask for a discount, I'll just say no. We don't even, you know, people pay for a year at front in foundations. They don't get a discount. What they do get is an Amazon card for the books we recommend. Yep. But they don't get a discount. We just don't do discount. Value. That's it. And if
we would buy the books ourselves, but quite frankly, you can't be fucking asked.
Can't be asked, no. And if people say to me, as they sometimes do, well, I'll take my business elsewhere, then okay, bye. But if people challenge me on the price, say something like, why is it so much? My reaction is not to run away and excuse it or anything else. I will say, it's a really good question, and I'm glad you asked. Here's why we charge more than anyone else. And then I will sell them on our value. So really the price objection, again, a price objection is not, I don't want this, I'm going elsewhere. A price objection is, I really want this, John, but I'm not quite sure why you're asking so much, and I'd really like you to tell me what the value is to me. It's an invitation, for fuck's sake. So I will say, yeah, it is a lot of money, and here's why you should be happy to pay it. Because you can be sure you're getting quality. We know what we're doing this for a long time. You'd like to see this ROI, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Anyone can do that, and everyone fucking should, but most do not.
Pussies. And if they are persistent on the price thing, you say, yeah, sure, we can lower the price. Which one of these things would you like me to remove from this service?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really appropriate for us now because of what we've got a kind of predefined package of stuff.
No, ours is firm as fuck.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it doesn't really lend itself to this kind of behaviour. But if you were, say, fitting a bathroom or doing a refurb in a house, and someone says, we've only got a 20K budget and you're asking 25, it's perfectly okay to say, okay, for 20K, here's what we can do. What you don't do is say, yeah, we'll do the whole thing for 5K less. Because that's just stupid.
And often they'll just say, well, I don't want to make any changes. I want what I originally asked for. Well, then the price is 25K. And then they'll often go, okay, how do I pay?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the reaction to, you know, the dialogue often goes, is there anything you can do about the price? No, that's the price. We can't do it for any less and make a decent profit. Oh, okay, then. I thought it was always worth trying my arm, you know? It's always worth a go. And I've had that said to me.
I'm one of those. I can be one of those people.
I don't.
Every now and again. It's mainly if I don't like the salesman. Then I hammer
Asking for a discount is beneath me.
That's fair enough. But if I'm dealing with a dodgy salesman, because they're also fucking poorly trained.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not fussed about the discount, and if I like the person, I want the thing, I'll pay full price, no problem. Apple, for example, I love Apple.
Yeah.
Not that you'll ever get a discount there. Graphic designers, never going to argue on price. Marvin, not going to argue on price. He's probably listening to this thinking, fuck me, you should charge him a lot more. Keep doing a good job, Marvin. You get that extra 50, all right, boy?
We bought a Land Rover, the first Land Rover. We got the second one now. The first Land Rover we bought, the guy jumped up right as we were about to sign on the dotted line and said, "Oh, you haven't traded in a car. Let's see what we can knock off." And he came back with €1,700 less for a car we'd already agreed to pay full price for. It just that was money you just throw away. We were quite happy to pay it. It's just Sarah buys loads of Mrs. EBG buys bookcases and loads of furniture from a place called Sheehy's. And every time she goes in, they'll offer a discount. She doesn't ask one, doesn't want one, doesn't care. But, oh, yeah, that's great. You're a good customer. We're not €100 off it for you. All right, fine. €100 is a fucking nice meal for me and John. Swank where it was is now you can't fucking get nice meals for love of money because you're not allowed out of the fucking house.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm aware time's getting on and you've got shit to do.
I've got a training to run, Join.
Yeah, and I've got
an OTA
tonight. I've got an OTA.
You do.
So we need to do the 1 minute hate, don't we?
We do. I already had it set up. I'm ready to go.
Oh, look what I found.
Hey, your tick time.
My tick time.
I love my little tick time.
I don't use mine enough. I need to get back into Pomodoro. Anyway, come on.
All right. What are you talking about? Well,
it's kind of to do with this. It's to do with price. It's people who want different results but won't change their behaviour.
All righty. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You steady?
I'm steady.
Go!
I'm going to go. People who will not change their behaviour want different results. I have been on the phone with countless people over the last 3 years who've said, I've got this problem, I want this result, I want to change. What do I need to do? I'll do anything required to change. I tell them what's required. You know what they do? They do fucking nothing. They do nothing. It's insane. They want different results with the same actions. How fucking stupid can you be? I remember once, I was only a kid. I was about 19 years old. Outside a fucking bank, woman puts a card in. This is when cash points are fairly new. Puts a card in. Tap, 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 tap. Beep. Wrong number. Tap, 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 tap. Same fucking number. Wrong number. Did it the third time. Tap, 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 tap. And it went beep. Went bleh. It ate the card. And she turned around to me. She went, I knew that was going to happen. How fucking stupid do you have to be to tap in the same wrong number knowing it will eat your card and you won't have any money for the weekend? Then you still fucking do it. Well, that's what people are like in their businesses. They do the same stupid shit. They do the same stupid shit over and over again and want different results.
And if you want different results, you should email Holly at Grow Your Business Fast and she'll get you some further details to join our foundation's mastermind.
Or go to ottcollective.co.uk and get yourself signed up into our Facebook group, the OTT Collective, where there's loads of shit on all about this stuff, trainings on how to do it the right way, or how a way to do it the right way, because I'm sure there are other ways to do it too, and we just talk about one of them, doing a particularly gentle style.
Yeah, we're soft, aren't we? Big softies at heart.
Big softies.
Go on, sign it off, John.
Right, so if you want to make more money with less work, less hassle, fewer headaches by attracting better clients, selling to them at higher fees and having it all happen in a pipeline. So you've got no hassle going on. You've got it's on autopilot and it's all hands off. I suggest you get in touch with us. Holly at growyourbusinessfast.co.uk if you want to get still a march and everyone else, or go to ottcollective.co.uk and get into the Facebook group and see what's going on. In the meantime, stay safe, stay inside, wash your hands, do not repeat stupid, fucked up behaviour, and do not shit on your fingers. See you later. Ta-da.
Ciao, Bella. Bye-bye.